Good morning, television family. Good to see you again. 13th day of May is upon us. 2025. It's a Tuesday. I'm Dan Kuntz, your host. We're going to do today is going to be the reverse of yesterday. Weather-wise, we had lots of sunshine all the way to the mid-afternoon, and the clouds rolled in. Today, we're going to do that backwards. We got clouds this morning. A little bit of light rain has already come down in some locations, and then by the time we get to the afternoon, the sun will be out. In fact, we're going to have some cloudy periods. It's going to be fairly unsettled, really, right through the forecast period. We're going to have some cloudy times over the next 7 days or so, but it'll be mostly in the evening hours during the daylight hours, and we're over 15 hours of daylight. It'll be fairly sunny, but temperatures a little below normal, a little windy, not too bad Thursday and Friday, a little mix-up on Saturday and Sunday. There is a lot of weather. No 2 days are going to be the same. Those details are coming up, plus your Climate Prediction Center's long-term forecast as well. We will have the news. We will have the sports. If you watched the Mariners and the Yankees last night on TV, as I did, you probably noticed there were a lot of Yankee fans at T-Mobile Park, and they had a lot to cheer for until the ninth inning, but we'll get to that. Mariners got creamed by the Yankees. Highlights of that. And of course, all of the high schools are now deep into the postseason. We'll preview what's going on there. And coming up this weekend, this Saturday, is the Apple Valley Vinyl Record Expo. Joel Myrene is putting this on. This is the fourth one he's done. It's a lot of fun, and we want you to go, which is why we're going to play the interview that I did with Joel to whet your appetite. For you vinyl junkies out there, go pick up some records this weekend. Joel Myrene from the Apple Valley Vinyl Record Expo will be my guest in the back half of the program. And Mike Mignotti does not like frozen pizza. Let's go to our cameras around the valley and see what we have on this Tuesday. It's 55 degrees. Everybody's in the 50s. Temperatures are very consistent. 55 here in the big city, 54 in Ephrata, 52 in Moses Lake, 53 in Manson, 52 in Chelan, 52 in Omak. A little bit of light rain in some locations. We had a little bit of light rain about 5 o'clock this morning outside of our studios. Lasted about a minute, and it was super light. Whether it registered on the rain gauge or not, I don't know. But you can see the clouds are hanging kind of low. But again, as the day progresses, the clouds will be leaving us, but a stray raindrop or two could still happen between now and about 10:30 or so this morning. Camera 2, by the way, that's the Wenatchee Valley, in case you didn't recognize it. That is Lake Wenatchee, in case you didn't recognize it. They continue to see lots of snow disappear from the north face of Dirty Face Mountain, but there's still lots of snow. You get to about 4,800 feet, and on up from there, still snow up there. It'll take a little while for that stuff to melt. Good morning to our friends at Lake Wenatchee. Keller Glen is at the bottom of your screen. Camera 3 is a slow dissolve to our McNeil Canyon camera. The Chelan Butte is on the left. Lake Chelan just over the edge there. It continues to go up about 1.5 inches a day. They're taking their sweet time. Lots of clouds up in the Chelan area as well. That's a stunning view from our McNeil Canyon camera. The one thing you can't see is the town of Chelan. That little abutment right smack dab in the middle of your screen keeps us from seeing that. And our fourth camera, we say good morning to Peshastin and to Dryden. Well, Dryden specifically. Can't really make out Peshastin. Kind of tucked away there as we're looking directly towards Leavenworth from the tip top of Stein Hill. We turn that around and you see Kashmir. You turn it that way and you see orchards, and lots of them. Here's hoping they have a nice year of whatever it is that you happen to be growing in the upper Wenatchee Valley. Agricultural products, let me specify that. It is Tuesday. We always check in with the Climate Prediction Center because on Mondays they issue their 6 to 10 day temperature and precipitation outlook. This takes you from this Sunday to Thursday of next week. And as you can see, we are likely going to see temperatures below normal. Our normal high is about 71. We're not going to get to that. They don't think so anyway for this period. Again, this is from Sunday through Thursday, your temperature outlook. You want the heat? Head to Texas and Florida. And as far as precipitation is concerned, about a 50-50 chance of normal precipitation. What we need is a lot of rain, and there is going to be some rain in our viewing area for the most part Friday and Saturday. Unfortunately, the lee of the Cascades is going to keep us dry, so it does not look like we're going to get a great deal of precipitation over the same time period, May 18th through the 22nd. All right, in detail from the National Weather Service, again, opposite of what we had yesterday. We had sun in the morning, clouds in the afternoon. Today it's clouds in the morning and sun in the afternoon. A little breezy at times. We'll top off at about 70, give or take a couple, just about normal. Partly cloudy and breezy tonight. The gradients are going to tighten up a little bit. We'll dip down to 49. The story tomorrow is going to be the wind. Sunshine for everybody all day, but it's going to be quite breezy all day on Wednesday, and that's the cold front going to take our temperatures down a little bit. Clear and breezy Wednesday night. We could see gusts above 30 on Wednesday night. Thursday, partly sunny, again, slightly below normal with a high of 68. Friday, we have a weak ridge of high pressure. It's going to set up. It's so weak, it's not going to last very long, less than 24 hours. Not bad for sunshine. And temperatures just a little bit below normal. And again, on Saturday, there is a slight chance of rain in the afternoon under partly sunny skies, but we aren't going to get a lot. Light rain, if we get any at all, on Saturday, and then we head into next week, which is, by the way, heading into Memorial Day weekend. We're getting there. Sunday and Monday, sunshine, highs about normal. All right, after a 2-minute break, whatever's making news will come your way. You're watching a Tuesday edition of Wake Up Wenatchee Valley on the NCWLIFE channel.
There's no place like home, because home is where we're totally comfortable. It's where we can be ourselves and let our guards down. It's where we make memories, and we're always imagining new ways to keep it totally comfortable. Carrier, total comfort, totally happy.
Turn to the experts, Carrier and Alpine Air. Heat and air, call Alpine Air.
Hi, I'm Amanda Walden with A. Walden Insurance Group. Medicare can be overwhelming, but you don't have to figure it out alone. I've been helping people understand their Medicare options for over a decade. Medicare isn't a one-size-fits-all. I'll help you understand your coverage options so you can feel confident in your decisions. Let's find the right Medicare plan for you. Call me today or come and see me at my office located on South Chelan Avenue in Wenatchee between the YMCA and the Social Security office. I look forward to meeting you soon.
Central Washington Water is home to the Hot Spring Spa for over 45 years. Come see the Freshwater Smart IQ. It monitors your saltwater spa's pH balance, chlorine, and more. Or the cold plunge tub that will leave you feeling rejuvenated. Plug-and-play spas make hot tubbing easy. With great financing available, cold water, salt water, hot water, Central Washington Water has a spa for your budget and your lifestyle. Stop by today.
Tour Moses Lake just a gas tank away. With its abundance of outdoor activities, Moses Lake is a great place to visit. From fishing and boating to exploring the city's attractions, there is no shortage of things to do. Whether you're enjoying any one of the variety of restaurants with the family or an adventure-filled day with friends, Moses Lake has something for everyone. TourMosesLake.com and start your adventure today.
55 degrees, quite a bit of cloud cover, a few sun breaks. By this afternoon, we'll see quite a bit of sunshine. Temperatures about normal, temperatures below normal with sun and wind for the balance of the week. It's 9 minutes after the hour. 3 people are dead after a Sunday climbing accident in the North Cascades, according to the Okanogan County Sheriff's Department. They say 3 climbers from Renton were descending a steep gully at about 11:30 on Sunday morning when a rappelling anchor apparently gave way, and that caused them to fall to their deaths. They were part of a 4-person group involved in the ascent of North Early Winter's Spire. That's one of a pair of popular climbing features about 16 miles west of Mazama. The 4th member of the team survived and was able to contact authorities. The names of those killed have not yet been released. The Sheriff's Office partnered with the Okanogan County Search and Rescue Crew and the Snohomish County Sheriff's helicopter team to recover the bodies from the mountainside. Well, with 3 city council seats open for election, the city of Wenatchee will not see any contested races this year. Incumbent council members Top Roja Hostanine and Myra Navarra Gomez both filed to retain their seats. Nobody's challenging them. And with her announcement last week that she would not seek re-election, District 2 council member Chelsea Ewer left the seat available, and Doug Miller, a frequent candidate for local office, became the only person to register a candidacy for that post. Cities with contested council elections in our area include East Wenatchee, Cashmere, Chelan, Leavenworth, Mansfield, and Bridgeport. The Eastmont School Board will be the site of 2 contested races in the November election. Board member Jacob Burkhart opted not to run again. That left his seat available for 2 candidates to register for office during last week's filing period. They are Andy Koffold and Melinda Antatamula. Incumbent board member Jason Hines is going to face a challenge from Kristen Larson. Kirsten Larson is a development planner for the city of Wenatchee. And in the Wenatchee School District, at-large board member Martin Barron is serving out his final term, making way for a face-off between new candidates Caroline Siderius and David Elwood. You can go to our website, by the way, to find the full roundup of local offices up for election this August and then November. A federal lawsuit over a Chelan County deputy prosecutor's misuse of a criminal records database has come to an end. Back in 2023, Michaela Meadows used the law enforcement search tool known as Spillman to seek out confidential information on former co-workers as well as on defense attorneys in the Wenatchee Valley. The Washington State Patrol says Meadows committed an administration violation in her use of the search tool, but not a criminal one. Last month, a former co-worker she targeted withdrew his lawsuit, which claimed Meadows and Chelan County had violated his constitutional rights. Our own Jefferson Robbins filed this report.
Michaela Meadows is a 30-year-old attorney managing sex crime cases for the Chelan County Prosecuting Attorney's Office. Like all prosecutors, Meadows has access to the huge criminal records database known as Spillman, which is solely accessible to law enforcement.
If we're doing an investigation and let's say you're our suspect, we're going to type you into our system, we're going to get your personal information, enter you into the call, and make sure your name, date of birth, address, phone number are listed, in addition to our victims, witnesses.
If you have contact with law enforcement, and it could be something innocuous like you're a witness to a car accident, and you happen to call in to report or you saw the accident, your information is going to go into Spillman. If you're pulled over, you're going to have a Spillman entry under your name. If you report a neighbor for a loud party or something, your information will go into Spillman, as well as confidential information about you, contact information, maybe who you're associated with, who was in the vehicle you were driving.
It is us being able to go through and confirm people's identity, make sure there's no outstanding warrants, that they don't go by any other aliases, that there's not any kind of criminal histories.
And also I know that law enforcement can include notes. So if you aren't particularly cooperative, if you are seen as someone who's not friendly with law enforcement, that can be put into Spillman. So it's protected information that is really maintained by the government, that people outside the government are not privy to, and it's only to be used or accessed for the purposes of for law enforcement purposes or case purposes.
So a Spillman entry is not evidence. It's not something that's to be brought before a judge. It's not any proof that anybody's committed a crime. It's kind of a ledger for those folks who are investigating a crime.
I think that's a fair way of stating it, yes.
But as you said, it casts kind of a wide net. People's names get added to Spillman case files all the time.
Absolutely, every day.
Meadows joined the prosecutor's office in January 2022. The following year, according to a Washington State Patrol investigation, she came into personal conflict with a fellow deputy prosecutor named Brock Stone, who left the office after only 6 months. Meadows first searched Brock Stone's name in Spillman in February 2023, 2 times. She again ran a search in July after Stone left the office, looking for information on a DUI charge that was filed against him that month. When he was told of Meadows' actions by a friend in the prosecutor's office, attorney Brandon Radall submitted a request for all records of her Spillman searches. There, he found that Meadows had searched his wife's name in 4 different combinations on one day in May 2023.
I wanted the abuse of her access to stop, number one, because it was directly impacting my family. And number 2, because of the concern for what that could do for the county and really our law enforcement's ability to keep the county safe.
Records received by Radall and others also found evidence that Julia Hartnell, Meadows' predecessor as Chelan County's lead prosecutor on sex crimes, ran her own Spillman searches on non-defendants, including Brock Stone and 2 other local defense attorneys. Radall took the matter to Sheriff Mike Morrison, whose office administers the Spillman system for all Chelan County users. Morrison, in turn, asked the Washington State Patrol to investigate in November 2023. citing a possible conflict of interest. Prosecutors are guest users on the Spillman system, and during the investigation, Meadows' access to the powerful search tool was cut off. The State Patrol investigation took more than a year to be completed. While detectives looked into the matter, Brock Stone, now a defense lawyer in the Tri-Cities, filed a lawsuit against Chelan County as well as Meadows, Hartnell, and others allegedly involved in seeking him out through Spillman. In an interview with the State Patrol, Meadows said she acted out of curiosity and had no ill intent towards Stone, Radall, or other non-defendants she searched for. The State Patrol's report on the matter was finally completed this March. Detectives judged that while Meadows had committed administrative violations by misusing Spillman, her actions did not rise to the level of a criminal act. Speaking by phone with NCWLIFE, Brock Stone called the report, quote, a sham job. He withdrew his lawsuit in April, saying Chelan County threatened to countersue him in federal court, and he could not afford the risk of losing a trial. My belief and faith in the system, he said, is just at an all-time low. Brandon Radall had doubts of his own about the investigation.
It seemed to me that that investigation was undertaken knowing that it would be made public, and I think that their hope was to put it to bed, give it the appearance of a good, thorough investigation. But it sure appears to me that there were certain things, justifications given by Ms. Meadows that could have very easily have been looked into, could have been corroborated or not.
Washington State Patrol Communications Director Chris Loftus told NCWLIFE the agency is, quote, confident that the investigation was thorough, unbiased, and professionally conducted. Chelan County Prosecutor Robert Sealby, who is Meadows' boss, declined to be interviewed or give comment for this story. Morrison says, as of the completion of the State Patrol investigation, Michaela Meadows' Spillman access has been restored. Jefferson Robbins, NCWLIFE.
And a longtime mayor and former legislative candidate is the new economic development director for Douglas County. Suing Moody, who ran for Washington State Representative last year against Andrew Engel, accepted the post offered by Douglas County Commissioners last month. She was the mayor of Twisp for 13 years. She helped oversee major building and infrastructure projects until recently. Ing Moody was an outreach specialist for the Washington State Department of Commerce. And one of her first jobs, she and the commissioners went to our nation's capital late last month. And that is the news. At 18 minutes after the hour, the news at 5 o'clock, 6 o'clock, and 10 o'clock tonight right here on television, 5, 6, and 10. Also online right around 5 o'clock. And our news will be posted in 3 different locations, our YouTube page, our Facebook page, and our homepage, ncwlife.com. And if you have a news tip, send us an email, news@ncwlife.com. Highlights, if you will, of the Mariners and the Yankees when we come back. You're watching Wake Up Wenatchee Valley on the NCW Life channel.
The Surf and Slide Water Park is open from Memorial Day through Labor Day. Surf and Slide is located in the heart of Central Washington in Moses Lake with activities for all ages and abilities. Check out Surf and Slide's Flow Rider Surfing Simulator, Lazy River, 2 200-foot water slides, tube slides, and diving boards. Our children's area includes a Treasure Island water structure, splash pad, and baby octopus slide. For season passes, visit us online or find Surf and Slide on Facebook.
Craving fresh Asian comfort food? Steam Panda is Wenatchee's popular, family-friendly Asian restaurant. They focus on providing guests with delicious, healthy, fresh, and natural dishes for an affordable price. It's time to enjoy one of their many popular house-made soup dumplings, ramen noodles, or pho dishes. And make sure to ask about their lunch and chef specials on sushi rolls. Steam Panda's Hawaiian poke bowl and salads are excellent with your favorite boba tea. Stop by or order online at Steam Panda today.
When you've been in business for 40 years, it's because you understand change and you put members first, always. Now Works is announcing a change in their membership model. Up to 6 people on one membership that you can mix and match. The more people, the bigger the discounts. Introducing the Works shared membership model. One membership, friends and family and flexibility. Works, the cleanest, friendliest, most helpful gyms you and your friends will ever join.
Caught in a conflict? Family, workplace, neighbor, business, housing disputes? Wenatchee Valley Dispute Resolution Center provides mediation services. a cost-effective and efficient way to provide a written resolution to disputes and issues. Plus, we offer mediation training and community education on conflict resolution and communication skills. Contact us to learn more.
Sports at 20 minutes after the hour. The Yankees scored 6 runs in the 5th inning. Trent Grisham hit a couple of home runs, and the Mariners lost their season worst 4th in a row last night. 11-5 was the final. The A's now trail the Mariners by just a game and a half in the AL West.
Punched deep, left center field, leaving the yard and gone. That was a tank.
And one thing that Julio is really locking in on lately is the breaking ball. He allows that sweeper to travel, and then it just explodes off his bat 110 miles per hour into the fans in the bullpen and out in the pen next to it.
What a blast.
Grisham hits it high, hits it pretty deep into center field. J-Rod back, and he can't make the catch. It goes over the wall. Trent Grisham stays burning hot with a solo home run to tie the game. Home run number 11 for Trent Grisham. And that's one that J-Rod would like back.
Did this hit the top of the wall? Did it hit his glove? It did. It hit his glove and bounced over the fence. It gets back there, right off his glove over the fence. Polanco jumps on the first pitch, out to right field, gone! The Mariners take the lead right back on home run number 10 for Jorge Polanco.
I was talking to Polanco about the adjustments that he made. He said he went from that open stance to more of a closed stance just to limit the amount of movement that he had to have. He said he felt like by having an open stance, he was creating more torque.
Cracks it again, high and deep, center field. Julio going back, and he'll run out of room yet again. Way up and out of here for Trent Grisham. Second home run of the night, and we're tied again at 2. How about Trent Grisham? 4th career multi-homer game.
Well, that wasn't going to be glove-aided. Out over the middle of the plate, almost in the same spot as that changeup that he hit in the 3rd inning.
Paul Goldschmidt, who's been a hitting machine here for the Yankees. And he lines it into left field. It's a base hit for Goldschmidt. Judge comes in to score. Rice will stop at 3rd. It's a go-ahead RBI single for Paul Goldschmidt. Bellinger into right field, base hit. Rice will score. Goldschmidt goes to 2nd. RBI single Cody Bellinger. And the Yankees are ahead 4-2.
No, everything from in this inning from Hancock has been elevated. There's a changeup up in the zone. Yankees have done a nice job of making him get those pitches up, and they're jumping all over him.
And right away, the Mariner bullpen starting to stir up as the Yankees continue to hit Emerson Hancock pretty hard here. 1-2. Sent high in the air. Center field pretty deep. Rodriguez on the run. Rodriguez twisting and watching it fly out of here. Austin Wells with a 3-run shot. Oh, the Yankees are tattooing Emerson Hancock here in the 5th inning. 7-2 Bombers.
And no, this is not Sacramento where the ball's flying. 12 home runs in that 3-game series between the Athletics and the Yankees. This was a changeup. He wanted it down and away.
Soft fly ball, shallow right, and Judge just traps it. Now Rosarena scores. And Judge out to center field. Cal Raleigh really bangs this one deep over the wall for a home run. Makes it a little more interesting.
I just marvel at how Cal Raleigh can climb over to the right side and do this. He's shorter, a little more compact than he is on the right side than he is the left side. 420 feet, 2-seam, 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 and we saw 2 4-seamers. One not even close, and the other 4-seamer now in center field.
And Volpe strikes it hard, strikes it deep. Rodriguez looks up, it is gone! Anthony Volpe with a crusher here in the 9th. He extends the Yankee lead.
Now you might see Weaver sit down.
10-5 Yankees. The offense continuing to put up fat and crooked numbers here on this West Coast trip.
Now the Yankees hit 8 home runs in Sacramento. Not another 4 here in the first game in Seattle.
3-2. It is in there, called strike 3. That's the ball game, and the Yankees win the opener 11-5 here in Seattle.
Yeah, really tough to get excited, even though the Yankees offense did an outstanding job again. 12 home runs in the last 4 games, 4 home runs today. A nice job by Clark Schmidt out on the mound, but everybody's thoughts and prayers go with Oswaldo Cabrera after getting injured in that 9th inning.
Brian Wu gets the start for Seattle tonight. It's the second game of the series. Max Fried gets the nod for the Yankees. First pitch on Root Sports is at 6:40. How did the rest of the American League do? Well, the A's didn't play, so they're just a game and a half now behind the Mariners. Rangers knocked off the Rockies. Astros lost to the Royals. Angels beat the Padres. Prep baseball, the District 5 4A tournament gets underway today. It's a loser-out game for the Wenatchee Panthers. They'll host Sunnyside at 5 o'clock. Across the river, Eastmont hosts Eisenhower at 5 o'clock in loser-out games. The championship will be at West Valley when Moses Lake takes on West Valley Friday at 5 o'clock. For the smaller schools in the District 5 2B, Warden and Okanagan will both move on regardless of whether they win or lose. But for Brewster and Tenasket, it's win or go home in their games today. And in softball, the District 5 4A, it's a loser-out game for the Wenatchee Panthers. They'll host Sunnyside at 4 o'clock. Eastmont made it to the championship. They'll play Moses Lake for the district title Thursday at 5 o'clock. Soccer, loser-out today. Eastmont will host Eisenhower to move on to the district tournament at 6 o'clock. At the same time, Sunnyside plays host to Moses Lake. Of course, the Wenatchee Panthers will take on Davis for the district championship at the Apple Bowl Thursday at 6 o'clock. For the smaller schools, Quincy is the only one left alive in the 2A, and to stay alive, they got to beat Ellensburg at 4 o'clock today. And for the smaller schools, the combined District 5 1A and 2B, all of these teams will move on. Just a question of who they'll play in the next couple of days, and those are just some of the games that people are playing. Happy National Apple Pie Day today. Quite probably my favorite dessert. Apple pie is one of those few pies out there. It's actually probably good for you. I mean, it's obviously more nutritious than other pies that you would have for dessert, but who does not love an apple pie? Today is National Apple Pie Day because it said so on the internet. And of course, as you might imagine, where was the apple pie invented? England in the 14th century. Let's do today in history. May 13th, 1970, 55 years ago today, the world premiere of the Beatles film Let It Be takes place in New York City. None of the Beatles, needless to say, attended the premiere. What Peter Jackson did to that movie a few years ago basically saved it. I watched Let It Be, the original movie, a couple of times. It's pretty depressing. Speaking of depressing, 44 years ago today, Mahet Ali Agha attempts to kill the Pope. Pope John Paul II in St. Peter's Square in Rome. He very nearly died. We wouldn't learn about that for a couple of years. Here's how it was reported on CBS.
A terrible quiet fell on the thousands who were gathered at St. Peter's Square at the Vatican today. A shocked quiet. 10,000 or more had come to receive the blessing of Pope John Paul. Instead, amongst the cheering and the peal of bells announcing the arrival of the Pope, they heard gunfire and saw the Pope turn pale and collapse, bloody, into the arms of his aides. Pope John Paul II had been shot. A Turkish terrorist who had threatened to kill the Pope 2 years ago is being held tonight by Italian police, the main suspect in the shooting. His Holiness was immediately thought to be in grave condition as he was brought into the operating room. Then, for over 4 hours, surgeons worked. His most serious wound, a shot through his abdomen. Doctors removed 2 parts of the Pope's intestines. The doctors called the operation, quote, successful. Tonight, they say, the Pope's condition, however, is guarded because, after all, there is still the possibility of infection. This act of violence directed against a man of peace stunned the world.
Dan, it is already the early hours of Thursday morning in Rome. The Vatican, like the rest of the world, is trying to adjust to the shock of this attack on the life of Pope John Paul II. Doug Tennell is standing by now to tell us more about the mood of Rome at this hour. And Doug, it must be a somber scene indeed there where you are.
certainly is. There is very much the atmosphere of shock, even in these early hours. Small groups of people are still walking through St. Peter's Square, looking for the exact place where what happened today happened, talking with the people there, exchanging the latest word on the condition of the Pope, and of course, some of them on bended knee praying before portraits of the Pope and hoping for his speedy recovery.
And that is why the Pope Mobile now is encased in bulletproof glass. He survived. And finally, the late lamented ABA came to an end. The Nets beat the Nuggets to win the ABA championship in the final game in the history of the ABA, and here's how it ended.
Skinner has the ball. 5 seconds to the championship. It's Jones. It's all over. It's all over with 3 seconds to go. And the crowd storms onto the court. 1 second. The clock is out, and the ball game's over. Pandemonium as the New York Nets win 112-106.
The Nets, of course, the Nuggets, the two teams that played, the Pacers and the Spurs would join the NBA the following fall. Say goodbye to the ABA. And finally, birthdays. One heavenly birthday, 66-3 all time. Heavyweight champion of the world from 1937 to 1949. Two famous quotes, both of these attributed to Mike Tyson, but originally said by Joe Louis. He can run, but he can't hide. And my favorite Joe Louis quote of all, everyone has a plan until they've been hit. Considered one of the greatest boxers of all time, Joe Louis, the pride of Detroit, born in this state in 1914. Stevie Wonder is 75 years old today. There are 4 albums you should have in your record collection if you're serious at all. Music of My Mind, Talking Book, Intervisions, my favorite, and Songs in the Key of Life. 25 Grammy Awards is the most all-time by a solo artist, and he is the youngest man ever to be inducted into the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame. He was just 38 years old when he was inducted in 1989. And Stephen Colbert is 61 years old today. His Late Show with Stephen Colbert has been dominating the late night ratings for about the last 6 or 7 years, although I've never seen it. It's a little past my bedtime. For heat and air, call Alpine Air. For heat and air, call Alpine Air. They are our platinum sponsor. Mike McNaughty does not like frozen pizza. He's going to tell you all about it. And then Joel Meyerine joins me because the Apple Valley Vinyl Record Expo, and I'm looking forward to it, is this Saturday. Joel, when we come back, you're watching Wake Up Wenatchee Valley on the NCWLIFE channel. It's the NCWLIFE Community Calendar, a presentation of Apple Valley Honda. The 5th annual La Terraza on the Ave is Saturday, May 17th in front of Centennial Park in downtown Wenatchee. It's a celebration of Hispanic culture, business, food, dance, and music all day. More than 30 vendors from local small businesses will be on hand to show off and sell their food and artwork, and a tequila garden for those 21 and older. La Terraza on the Ave is a fundraiser for the Hispanic Business Council. Celebrate this great country during Rockfest in Rock Island the last Saturday in June. Great music, great bands, great fun. It all happens at the Rock Island Golf Course. Mark your calendars and be prepared for family fun entertainment and live music until the fireworks start crackling. Contact info at rlstalent.com if you would like to help sponsor this event or bring your awesome food truck. Space is limited. Rockfest at the Rock Island Golf Course, June 28th.
Welcome to Boswell's, where you'll find quality furnishings for every room in your home. Customers ask, do you have solid wood options? Yes, they do. Bamboo, maple, acacia, cherry, mahogany. With 2 floors of quality furniture and complimentary design services, Boswell's design team can create a home that's uniquely yours. For almost a century, people have chosen Boswell's for their quality and customer service. Boswell's Furniture, it's closer than you think.
Hey there folks, Blueberry Carrie here to invite you on out to Blueberry Hills to experience some real treats. Take a look at our homemade cream pies, our amazing cheesecakes, and don't forget our famous banana pudding. Remember, we're more than just great treats. People come from all over the world to experience what has been called one of the best destination restaurants in the Pacific Northwest. So come on out and see what all the fuss is about. Blueberry Hills in Manson. It's where the world is coming to.
Mad Dog Magnotti. Everybody is entitled to my opinion now. I recently saw an ad for a frozen pizza company claiming their product was New York style. No, there's no such thing as frozen New York style pizza or any kind of frozen pizza for that matter. Look, you can freeze shrimp and it's still shrimp. When it thaws, it's still shrimp, as are green beans, tater tots, or a chicken pot pie. But freezing pizza and then adding insult to injury and calling it New York style, oh gosh, may God forgive them for their blasphemy. This is Mike Mad Dog Magnotti, and that's my opinion.
Right now at Les Schwab Tires, it's the Best for Less sales event. Save up to $120 instantly on a set of 4 tires. Choose from a wide selection of our longest-lasting, best-performing tires, and every tire is covered by America's best tire warranty. With a 60-day satisfaction guarantee, no hassle road hazard protection, and free maintenance for the life of your tires. It's our best deal on our best tires, with the best service in the business. Get more from less.
What's your awesome? Whatever it is, Washington Trust Bank can help you get there. Learn more at watrust.com/awesome.
And we are back. Rarely on this program do I let people know where I'm at on weekends. I value my weekends, and being, of course, a celebrity, I don't want to, cause a big commotion when I'm out and about at the movies or whatever. I'm making an exception. If you want to see me on May 17th, Saturday, all you got to do is go about 6 blocks down from where we're sitting, because I'll be hanging around at the Apple Valley Vinyl Record Expo. Apple Valley Vinyl Record Expo?
Yes.
Did I get that right? Why the vinyl, by the way?
Well, just because, maybe for clarification's sake, I guess,
Okay.
but so people don't think we're selling personal records or something. I don't know. Personal information.
Joel Myrene is joining me. He's the one who put this together any number of years ago. It was a smashing success. Just one time this year, again, just like last year, it'll be May 17th at the we can never figure out the name of that building.
Yeah, International Order of Oddfellows, or IOOF Hall.
Okay, well, you and I both qualify for that Oddfellow part of it. I would say that. Last year's was a huge success. I had a ball. First things first, folks. I'll tell you this right now. The $5 early admission is worth it, because you get first crack at it. And there was a line at 10 o'clock.
Yeah.
So talk about that special little part of it first, Joel.
Yeah. So it's free to the public from 11 a.m. to 4 p.m. But really, I think the best option, and it's kind of the option that helps keep the Record Expo going, is the $5 early admission at 10 o'clock. So it gets you in the door at 10 a.m. Best pick of all the records. And it's just best selection, and it helps support the expo and keep it going.
We were in the building at 5 minutes after 10.
Yeah.
On last time you did this, so about a year ago, and there was already a couple hundred people there, upstairs and downstairs.
Yeah.
Just
yeah.
like that.
I'm grateful that there's a good turnout for that early spot, and really, there'll be 30 vendors worth of records. So while there'll be a ton of people there, there's plenty of room, plenty of tables to go explore. So, I like to keep it a lot of space between tables so people aren't, squeezed next to each other.
And if you find something that you really like, grab it and pick it up from that vendor, because I made that mistake last year. I went around and did some stuff, and thought, boy, I still got enough cash left, and I brought cash, so I'm disciplined. And I went back to find the record that I had bypassed, and somebody had already plugged it. So yeah. How do you avoid not spending all of your hard-earned money there? You're just too damn busy running it?
Yeah, part of it would be I'm usually at the Record Expo table, kind of selling shirts and some stuff there at my table, but my wife does kind of fill in for me so I can go out, and I did buy a fair amount of records last year for sure, so, and I probably will do that again this year.
What do you hear from your vendors? If you don't have vendors, it ain't going to work.
Yeah.
And it was like, well, let's throw the spaghetti against the wall and see if it's ready.
Yeah.
And it turns out it was, because a lot of your favorites are coming back.
Yeah, there's a lot of returning vendors. There's vendors from Washington, Oregon, and Montana. I can't remember if there's anyone from Portland this year or not, but they really like it. They do well as far as sales and everything and meeting people. And I think that's just because up until recently, too, there's been no record store in town. And so the demand is there. And we, just doing it once a year or so, the hype is still pretty heavy when it does roll around in May.
There's still, I mean, if you go to Target, they still have a vinyl record department. I don't know if Fred Meyer does anymore. I'm not allowed.
I'm not sure.
Wenatchee, they used to. So you'll start, Walmart, I think, has some vinyl records, but it's not like.
Yeah, those ones you'll find at those places like like a Taylor Swift or maybe AC/DC, something like that. Some of the more major label bands, and all represses, of course, for those ones. And
they're not true analog. They're
probably from digital masters, maybe.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
You brought a present. Well, not a present. I don't get to keep it, but this is your featured record?
Yeah, so every year
I'll hold it up, you talk.
Yeah, we like to have a featured record. And this year it's from the local band Datura, who has been touring a bit throughout the country too. They're headed down to California this summer to play a festival, but this is their second album. It's called Songs from a Dark House. And they're great. And so we'll have that record for sale at the Vinyl Record Expo table, at my table. And it's a great way to support them. And
what's the genre here?
So the genre, I would say it's kind of maybe gothy, rocky, new wave, Smiths, somewhere in there. But so while the lyrical content may be sad, this record is actually it's pretty poppy. It's maybe sad pop.
Well, keep in mind,
great.
The Smiths did a song called "Girlfriend in a Coma."
Yeah,
so, it's
exactly. I would say the Smiths is a good reference point for them.
Okay, so Morrissey's going to be there?
No, Morrissey won't be there. Yeah, because we'll, probably wouldn't meet his standards of everything.
As we throw photos up from the previous year's Apple Valley Vinyl Record Expo, gives you an idea of the crowd. Everybody that I talked to came away with at least 2 or 3 things that they wanted, that they were looking for specifically, and some specific artists that they didn't have the complete discography and they were missing a couple of records, and they found them there. People come out of there pretty happy.
I feel like it, and it's hard if you're a collector that's been collecting a long time, and you probably know this, you go somewhere to a record show and a lot of those records you already have or you've seen, and so if you've been collecting for a couple decades and you can find a handful of records, that's pretty great. And if you're new to it, it might be a little overwhelming with all the tables, but that's also why we like to limit it to about 30 tables of stuff.
And a lot of the vendors, and I can tell you from this from personal experience, as will Joel Myrene, a great deal of them will specialize. They'll have like nothing but audiophile records from Analog Sounds and Mobile Fidelity Sound Lab. Others will have only first pressing records from like the 60s, and they're experts in this particular era of vinyl. And you can talk to these people because they know what they're talking about.
Yeah, and some of them, like you're saying, they will have things sectioned off like that, and those people, chances are those records are in newer sleeves and very well cleaned before they were in the sleeve, and super knowledgeable. I know there's kind of a myth about record stores or record collectors being kind of snobby, but I've found all the record vendors there to be completely, just wanting to talk, and that's why they're there too. They love records and stuff. So, but my family did just go to Spain, and we went to some record stores there. And I will tell you that the snobby record store owner is still alive and well in Spain.
Well, good. I'm glad to see that tradition continues. A record store owner who's not snobby is your friend out there in Kashmir.
Yes.
Who launched his new business venture, and I know you helped him out a little bit with that.
Yeah.
I haven't had a chance to be out there yet. Again, not allowed to leave the Wenatchee Valley without talking to my probation officer. How's it going out there for him?
Yeah, it's going great. I think they had a line out the door of about 35 people on opening day. So it's going pretty good for him. I'm sure they sold a ton that first day, and he's been working on restock ever since. So I often will send people his way that get a hold of me with collections that they're wondering who might buy. And so now I send all those people his way. But yeah, it's a great store out in Cashmere at Side Street.
And he's also one of your sponsors.
He is, yeah. Yeah, he is the new sponsor this year. So Cashmere Records, it's been great to work with John on that too. And so Cashmere Records is the new sponsor. And we also have, once again, the Comet Magazine, Road Trip Records out of Ellensburg, which is Mark Pickerel's brand, and the Time Capsule in Wenatchee.
It's amazing that I think it helps that Ellensburg is a college town, but a town considerably smaller than Wenatchee, or even certainly much smaller than the Valley, could have a record store that's a destination. People drive over I-90 to check it out.
And that's kind of a testament to Mark and Pickerel to being able to know what records people want. And he used to have a record store there, I think, in the 90s. So he's been off and on doing it for quite a while. Yeah.
You brought some other stuff too, some other stuff we want to talk about.
Yeah, so at the Vinyl Record Expo table, I thought we'd change it up and have a new shirt design this year.
Well, same deal, I'll hold this up.
Just kind of a retro 70s, 80s look to that. So we'll have those available for sale along with some of the classic logo tees that we've had for a year, or for 3 years now, I guess. And and some expo posters from previous years we'll have for sale, I think.
Do you make any money on this?
I would say it's more of a passion project, and it does not lose money, but the margins are about even, I would say.
I just don't want the IRS knocking on your door because you said, I made $1 gazillion last year.
Yeah, the margins are about even. I mean, with stuff like even T-shirts, I'm selling those for $15, so they're pretty close to cost.
What? You decided to see if this was going to work, and it worked. Were you surprised at the success of the first?
I was, yeah. You never know how these things are going to go, and so you just do your best into putting on the best event and promoting it. And it turns out the demand for vinyl in Wenatchee is pretty high. So yeah.
A couple. Again, I've never missed one, and I've spent a great deal of time at the Apple Valley Vinyl Record Expo. If you're looking for shellac records, you may have to go someplace else. Bring cash, and most of these will take your little swipe away.
Yep.
But all of these vendors are for the most part up for negotiation. I've done this as well.
Yeah.
I would get 5 albums out that I wanted, and if you add up say like $150, say I'll give you 125 for the group, and for the most part they're pretty amiable about that.
Yeah, especially if you're buying multiple records, especially then. Yeah.
So bring cash. It also keeps you disciplined as well.
Yeah, if you set a budget that way.
Yeah. Let's see. Eating, listening to music. Boy, that's a tough call. I've asked you this before, and I'll ask you this again. Is the vinyl phenomenon, the rebirth of vinyl that are outselling almost all physical media formats, is it showing any signs of abating? Is it going to peak anytime soon?
There were some early statistics that came out earlier this year that showed a 33% drop in vinyl sales last year, but that actually, then they came out a month later and said they had changed the way they were measuring things, and there's actually a 6% increase. So it's been year after year since 2006. So I was kind of surprised it had kept growing, but I'm thankful it has. So yeah.
For record plants and record manufacturers, they have a problem because the raw materials to make vinyl records is getting more expensive and also harder to find.
Yeah, it is expensive. The cost to press 500 records is not feasible for a lot of smaller bands, I think. So you can do smaller runs of 100 copies, but then your price per unit is it's up there. It's pretty high. Yeah.
You're going to feed me? You're going to put caffeine in me? What do you got besides just a lot of vinyl?
Yeah, so this year we're having the same food vendor return. Touch of Soul does soul food. And him and his wife are down. They have a place downtown Wenatchee, but then he'll be at the expo again this year. So the food will be amazing. It's just like it was last year. Yeah.
Just don't eat over the records. Don't get crumbs all over the vinyl. Do you, and I know I've asked you this before, because they set up Friday afternoon, Friday night for the most part, or are they coming in Saturday morning?
The food vendor or
no,
us?
the actual vendors.
Yeah, the vendors. It's a mad dash Saturday morning.
Okay.
Yeah, and so we get the space set up prior to that, but it's pretty much they're let in at 7 in the morning to be ready by 10.
I was going to say, because are you like going through the pre-sale, special Joel sale, anything like that?
I have noticed some of the vendors will walk over to the other vendors' tables, and they'll kind of look around, and one of the perks of being a vendor, I guess. Yeah.
Is your wife okay with this little problem that you have?
That would be another reason why this continues to go, is because she helps out not only with the expo, day of, but she helps take care of things at home while I'm doing this kind of stuff. So she's been incredibly supportive of it. Yeah.
And a couple other things. Again, I'm kind of dominating the conversation, but I know a lot about this. Bring a list if you say I'm really looking for these, and talk to these vendors, because if you say, hey, I want this copy of Mott the Hoople or Linda Ronstadt or Bob Dylan or the Naz, and he doesn't have it there, doesn't necessarily mean you can't get it.
True. Yeah, and a lot of these vendors do know each other, and they might know another vendor that more would be likely to have that kind of record too. Some of the vendors, some of them know each other because they do the record show circuit. The weekend prior to this, my record expo, there's one in Seattle that's on that weekend, and so a lot of the same vendors do that one too.
Did you find anything interesting in that record store in Spain that you took home?
I did, actually. I found a record from a Wenatchee band.
In Madrid?
In Madrid, yeah, of all places. I found, I don't know if you remember the band Gypsy Kiss. It was Michael Dix, his band.
Yeah, probably late 80s?
Yeah. So Michael Dix had a pretty well-known solo career here in the 90s, maybe early 2000s. But prior to that, he had Gypsy Kiss. And I believe it was put out on a German label, so they had I think their presence was a lot more well-known in maybe Germany, Spain, areas like that. So I did see that record. I did not buy it because I already had a copy, but I took some pictures of it. I'll have to post. Yeah.
Never stopped me. There's a couple of records. I got 5 copies of What's Going On by Marvin Gaye. And I'm thinking I have a problem here. And then I go into the room of my house that has my vinyl. And then I know I have a problem. What am I doing with all of these things? Joel, for being a guest on my show, my producer Josiah brought this in. This is a Neil Young record. It's kind of a bizarre thing. It came out in the early 80s. It's
that's amazing.
Yeah, it's from the album Reactor, which was one of Neil's more esoteric works. It's Motor City backed with Southern Pacific, and yes, it is actually shaped like this. And it has a disclaimer that if you actually play this record, you may damage your stylus. So Joel, for being on the show, I'd like you to have this.
Oh, thank you very much. Thank you. I love Neil Young, so.
Yeah, there you go. Yeah, because I recommend not playing it, just for the heck of it. Anything else going on in Joel's world while I have you here, bud?
Oh, right now, I've been putting on all ages concerts throughout the fall and winter, and that just kind of ended. So just taking a break from that, and then gearing up to plan those for next fall through winter.
And you played a role in some of the groups that gigged at the Beer Garden, at the Kisa Entertainment stage over Apple Blossom. You convinced the powers that be that this might be a good booking. Worked out good.
Yeah, Alex from the Performing Arts Center and the Apple Blossom people kind of reached out to get my recommendations of who I thought might be a good fit, and I think I got 4 of the people that I had recommended on there. So that was great. Fun to watch them, and I love Apple Blossom. It's a busy time, but it's always so fun.
And it helped that the sound system is good.
Sound system is amazing there. Yeah. I love hearing bands on that big of a sound system.
They asked for my recommendations, and it turns out they were all dead. I'm sorry, Jackie Wilson died. I felt, I know he's not feeling well, but I didn't know it was that bad. Harry Nilsson is dead? What? I didn't know about this. The Apple, what number is this?
This would be Expo number 4, but year 3.
Year 3, the 4th annual Apple Valley Vinyl Record Expo, emphasizing on the vinyl there. Although I think it was a couple of years ago, there was one guy selling laser discs.
Yes,
and there was a guy selling 8 tracks, and there were some cassette dealers there.
You'll see the occasional CD, some tapes. I feel like tapes have always kind of been a presence, maybe more recently with people making kind of a comeback. Interestingly enough, I think CDs might be making a comeback, maybe to your displeasure.
I know I have a couple of CDs.
Yeah. But yeah, there'll be a fair amount there'll be some other media too, and there'll be one vendor there selling kind of high-end audio equipment too. Yep.
Again, it is on Saturday, May 17th, open to the public at 11 a.m. for free. For if you stick a crowbar in your wallet and you got $5, that'll get you in at 10 o'clock. And I highly recommend, if you are any kind of serious vinyl collector or just looking for a specific genre or a specific record, to fork over the $5 because it's well worth it, and it helps Joel offset his costs.
Yes.
Joel Myrene from the show, the record show. I'm not even going to bother butchering that again. And I will see you, if not before, I'll see you on the 17th.
Great.
Cool.
Thank you.
And hopefully, and obviously with my celebrity status, people will want to know the Stan Cohn's coming.
Could increase the numbers.
You never know. Joel Myrene, who will call you if you're not taking your pills on Monday morning. You're watching Wake Up Wenatchee Valley. We'll be right back.
Global Car Care has the best customer service in the Valley. From the moment you walk in the door, their goal is to help you stay on the road, so you can keep doing what's important to you. Global Car Care certified ASE mechanics stand behind your automotive repairs.
Great glorious spring, Wenatchee Valley. Collins Fashions is your go-to lady shopping experience in downtown Wenatchee. Special occasion dresses are arriving daily for moms, grandmothers, and friends and family. Sundresses, capris, tees, tanks, shorts, skirts hit the floor. Trusted quality brands such as Tribal, Charlie B, French Dressing Cut, and Liverpool. Comfy and cute sandals from Soft, Bueno, Volatile, Fly London, to name a few. Brighten Mother's Day with a gift from Collins in downtown Wenatchee.
Highlander Golf Course and Grill, located in East Wenatchee, offers terrific views and challenging play for golfers at every skill level. From the golf course to the grill, you don't need to be a member to dine in style and play golf too. Highlander's well-groomed fairways and greens keep it difficult, yet friendly for your regular rounds of golf or a new destination for you and your out-of-town friends. Contact the Highlander Pro Shop today to schedule your tee time, outing, or tournament. Open 7 days a week, where everyone is welcome to play and eat.
Clouds are already starting to thin out a little bit, and that's pretty good news. I think we're pretty much done with the rain. Had a little bit of light rain right around 5 o'clock in downtown Wenatchee. It lasted about a minute. It was hardly enough to get you wet. We need the rain, and we may still get the occasional raindrop. But as far as a long, consistent day of nothing but light rain to help alleviate the drought that we're in, and we're in a big-time drought, that is not in the forecast. In fact, if we look at the long-term forecast from the Climate Prediction Center, first of all, as far as temperatures are concerned, this is May 18th through the 22nd, so this starts on Sunday and takes you through Thursday. These are the experts for the long-term forecasting. As you can see, we're likely going to see our temperatures below normal. Point of reference, or normal high temperature this time of the year, is in the low 70s. That's your 6 to 10 day temperature outlook. Precipitation outlook, it doesn't look like we're going to have any more or any less than we would normally have this time of the year. We need the rain. There's really not a lot of rain in the forecast, I'm afraid. What we do have, however, is a little bit of wind and kind of unsettled weather really for the balance of the forecast period right into the early part of next week. Let's get right to it. For today, we had the clouds in the morning. By this afternoon, we'll have quite a bit of sunshine. It's going to be a little breezy, and we'll get up to just about 71. For the record, we hit 69 yesterday. So we're going to go right to our normal temperature. 49 for the overnight low tonight. It's going to be a little windy tonight. Wind will be out of the west about 10 to 20 miles an hour with gusts stronger than that on occasion. The story Wednesday, wind. It's going to be pretty cool, only 66, and it's going to be quite windy all day Wednesday and right on into Wednesday night. Not going to die down. Thursday looks pretty pleasant. Partly sunny, partly cloudy, back and forth with a high of 68. We have a weak ridge of high pressure on briefly building in Thursday afternoon into Friday, but by the weekend it's going to be gone. Saturday, partly sunny skies with a high of 66. We wrap up the weekend on Sunday under mostly sunny skies and a high of 69. All of those temperatures, as you can see, they're just a little bit below normal for this time of the year, but we're over the 15-hour of daylight, 15-hour mark of daylight. Sunrise this morning was a 5:26, sunset tonight 8:29. So the days are definitely getting longer. But this show is not getting longer. It's over. Start your Wednesday with us. Until then, take care. Bye-bye.